Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's class. Today we'll be focusing on the hips. So, opening, internally rotating, externally rotating, and even some back bends that incorporate opening the hip from the front. Okay, so we'll begin lying in a Shavasana position and on your back. So, let's get started. Okay, so we're going to begin lying on the back, and we'll let the eyes close. We'll just begin with a pranayama or breathing exercise. So just begin breathing naturally, normally through your nose. And just feel through the body. Try to consciously relax any areas that you feel are resisting the breath. And just allow the body to naturally expand with the breath. And we're going to practice an Ujjayi breath today. So it's just a gentle constriction in the base of your throat, just enough that you can hear your own breath, the sound of your own breath. So it doesn't have to be very loud, just enough for you to hear. So it would sound like this. So similar to that, but within yourself. So just loud enough for you to hear within your own body. And we'll continue breathing like that, trying to make that sound as smooth and continuous as you possibly can. So try not to have too many fluctuations in the pitch of the sound as best you can. And then let go of the constriction in the throat and just allow yourself to breathe naturally a few times. We'll take 3 nice deep breaths together to begin. So at your own pace, inhaling and exhaling. And 2 more times like that. And then reach the hands overhead, point the toes, and stretch the whole body, lengthen the whole body. And then bring the knees in towards the chest, pressing the low back down into the mat. Then bring the feet flat on the ground. So feet about hip distance apart. And we're going to bring the hands on the low belly here. And then press down the low back into the ground. Press down the sacrum into the ground until you feel a contraction on the front of the abdomen below the belly button. And then try to hold the contraction of those muscles. So as tightly as you can, trying to hold continuously while you're breathing. Try to hold as tight as you can while still being able to breathe naturally. And then release. And one more time, pressing down the low back into the ground, contracting the muscles just below the belly button. And we'll hold there, still allow yourself to breathe. So try to breathe up here, just below the rib cage, above the belly button. Holding the contraction. And release. And one more time like that, press the back down until you feel the contraction below the belly button and hold. And release. And then let just the right leg come straight out. Have the left foot flat on the floor, hands by the sides of the body. And inhaling, press the low back into the ground, lift the right leg towards the ceiling. And exhale back down to the ground. You can bring the foot down or keep it hovering. Inhale, reach up. And exhale down to the ground. Inhale, lift the foot up. And exhale down. Bring the right foot on the mat. Bend the knee and extend the left leg. We'll do the same thing on this side. So inhaling, reach the foot up towards the ceiling. And exhale down to the ground. Keep the back pressing down into the ground. So feel like you're using the belly muscles to do this. Press the back down. And one more time, up. And exhale down. Then bring the left foot flat on the ground. And we're going to extend the right leg. And inhale, lift the foot up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring the right foot out to the right. And then down in front again. Inhaling up. Exhaling out and down. Focusing on moving all from the hip joint as much as you can. Try to relax the hip joint. And one more time. And bring the foot straight out again. And then we're going to reverse direction doing the same thing. So point the right toes out to the right. And inhaling, come up towards the right shoulder and in towards the center. And exhaling down. With your own breath a few times. And then bring the right foot flat on the ground. Same thing on the left side. So I'm just going to turn so my foot doesn't hit the wall. So come lying flat on the ground. Bend the right foot so that the right foot is flat on the floor. Lift the left leg up towards the ceiling. And exhale out to the left and down. Inhaling up. And with your own breath at your own pace. Bring the leg down. And then again, we're going to do the opposite. So inhaling, turn the left toes out towards the left. And bring the leg up to center. And exhale down with your own breath. Then bring the left foot flat on the floor. Bring both knees in towards the chest, pulling in towards the chest. Relax the back of the body. Relax the low back into the ground. And then we're just going to begin circling the knees away from each other in opposite directions. And then reverse direction, go the other way. And bring the feet to the ground. We're going to come up to a seated position. And then make your way to hands and knees. Hands, wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And inhaling, tilt the tailbone towards the ceiling, arch the back and open the chest, lengthening the spine as you do. And exhale, tuck the tailbone under, round the back and drop the head. Inhaling, arch and open. And exhaling, round, drop the head. Move with your own breath a few times. Next time you inhale, we're going to extend the right leg and arch the back at the same time. Exhale, pull the knee in towards the chest, point the toes. Inhale, extend the leg, arch the back. And exhale, pull the knee in. Inhaling with your own breath. One more time. And then bring the right knee to the ground. Extend the left leg, arch the back, open the chest. And exhaling, pull the left knee in. Inhaling, extend. And exhaling, round. 2 more times with your own breath. Bring the knees down. Splay the knees apart. Bring the toes together and press back to Balasana, child's pose. And just take a few deep breaths here. Inhaling, come back to hands and knees. And then we're going to lower down onto the stomach. So we're going to come to half bow pose, or Dhanurasana, Ardha Dhanurasana. So we're going to reach back with the right arm to grab the right ankle. But if the arm doesn't reach the ankle, then you can just bring a strap. If you have a regular belt, you can just bring a belt around the ankle to help reach, okay? So we're going to turn the left hand so it's going across the front of the body. We want roughly the elbow under the shoulder, left elbow under left shoulder, and palm flat on the ground, okay? And then bend the right knee, bring the hand to the ankle, and inhaling, open forward as much as is comfortable. Focus more on lengthening your spine. And try to completely relax the front of the right thigh, the front of the right hip as much as possible. So that's where we're really focusing on stretching. And a few breaths here. Inhaling, bring the right foot down. Just the opposite, we'll bring the right elbow under the right shoulder. Rotate the hand so it's across the body, palm flat on the ground. And then bend the left knee and reach back for the ankle. Inhaling, open the chest forward, lengthen the spine. Again, focusing on the front of the left hip, the front of the left thigh. And just try to focus on the sensations, allowing everything to soften in its own time. Inhale, bring the left foot down. We'll bring the arms across the front of the body so the hands are coming to the opposite elbows or the backs of the arms. And just let the head relax. Let the head drop down, lengthen the back of the neck. And if it's comfortable for your hips here, you can externally rotate the feet so the inside edge of the feet are as close to the ground or facing the ground. And just relax the low back. Try to let the weight be supported by the elbows and the fronts of the hips. And rotate the feet, the tops of the feet back on the floor. Bring the hands by the sides. And then we're going to press back up to hands and knees. We'll splay the knees apart, toes together, and press back one more time to Balasana. We'll hold here a few breaths. Inhale, slowly come up. We'll come standing on the knees. So we're going to come to Ustrasana or camel pose. So have the knees about hip distance apart. Tops of the feet can be flat on the floor. And we'll bring the hands to the backs of the hips. So we're going to focus on stretching the front of the hips in this posture today, not so much focused on how far we go back, okay? Inhale, lengthen the spine, open the chest, and drop the head back. And then press the hips forward, so as much as you comfortably can. If you regularly practice this and you want to bring the hands back, you can do that. Or if you have blocks, you can bring the blocks on the calf muscles like this and help support. Otherwise, you could have the hands on the backs of the hips and just pressing the fronts of the hips forward. Remember not to do this too much where you have pressure in the low back. Okay, so only as much where you still feel you have control. And a few smooth, deep breaths here. Inhaling, come up, and then we'll come to a cross-legged seated position. And we'll begin in cobbler pose or bound angle pose. So bring the bottoms of the feet together, pull the heels in towards the seat, and you can bring the fingers around the interlacing around the toes, or you can have the hands on the ankles, so whichever is better for you. Press the sitting bones down and reach up with the crown of the head, open the chest as much as possible, and relax the knees down towards the ground. So focus on moving from the hip always and trying to soften everything from the inside of the knee to the inside of the hip. Smooth, deep breaths. Next time you inhale, you can let the feet go and bring the feet out as wide as you comfortably can. So just try to keep the knees how you had them pointing for cobbler pose or Baddha Konasana, and just extend the legs. Pull the toes back towards the shins. Inhale, open the chest, and exhale, fold forward as much as is comfortable. So you can have the hands on the thighs, the space between the thighs or the feet here, like this, or you can bring the hands to the feet if it's comfortable for you. So whatever works better for you. And just being aware of where you feel the stretch, the sensation of the stretch in the body, and then feeling the effect of the breath on the stretch. So as you inhale, noticing the expansion. And as you exhale, the softening, relaxing, lengthening. Maybe you can go a little further, but only if it happens naturally. And inhaling, slowly come up. Then we'll come to Janu Shirshasana. So we're just going to bring the left foot straight out in front. Bring the bottom of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh here. Inhale, open the chest, pull the toes back, and exhale, fold forward. So you can bring the hand to the leg, ankle, the foot, wherever it comes. And just try to keep a steady gaze. Keep your eyes locked on one point. And smooth, natural breaths. feeling the effect of the breath on the stretch. Inhaling, come up, and we'll bring the right foot out now. Bring the bottom of the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Inhale, pull the toes back, lengthen the spine. And exhale, fold. Again, you can bring the hands to the thigh, to the shin, to the foot. And you can use a strap around the foot as well, or the belt, like we mentioned earlier. And keep the eyes steady. And when you're gazing at one point, try not to force and concentrate where there's any tension in the eyes or the head. Just a gentle gaze. If the eyes naturally want to move, just allow them to, then bring them back. Try to relax the gaze. A feeling where you're not exactly looking at what you're looking at, but just gazing in that direction. And then inhale, come back up. We're going to come to Paschimottanasana. So I'll turn this way so you can see. We're going to let both legs come straight out and pull the toes back towards the shins. Lengthen the spine. And exhale, fold. So same thing here. You can bring the hands to the thighs, the lower legs, or the feet. Or you could always use the strap as well, or the belt around the feet. Smooth, natural breaths. Relax the toes back so there's a stretch in the calf muscles as well. Remembering to just focus on the sensation of the stretch. It's allowing everything to naturally open in its own time. Feeling the effect of the breath on the stretch. And inhale, come up. We're going to come lying down on the back, so coming all the way down. So we'll begin with Apanasana again. So bring the knees in towards the chest. And then we'll bring the feet flat on the floor. And now we're going to come to happy baby pose. So if reaching for the feet is too much in this posture, you can just bring the hands to the backs of the knees like this, okay? Otherwise, you could bring the hands around the outsides of the feet. And with your exhales, letting the knees soften back towards the armpits, relaxing from the hips. And smooth, natural breaths. Again, just being aware of where you feel the stretch, the sensation of the stretch, and focusing on that, just observing it as you hold. And exhale, bring the feet down to the ground. We'll come to a lying twist. So we'll bring the elbows to about shoulder height, bend the arms 90 degrees, and pull the knees in towards the chest. With your exhale, we'll let the knees drop over towards the right first. Let the head drop over towards the left. And focus on lengthening the torso, the sides of the torso especially. And the outside of the left hip here. Inhale, bring the feet flat and pull the knees in towards the chest. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Exhale, drop the knees over towards the left. Bring the head to face towards the right. And smooth, natural breaths, lengthening the sides of the torso and the outside of the right hip. Bring the knees back to center. And then we'll bring the legs straight out. Come to Shavasana. Have the hands out by the sides of the body, palms facing up. You can bring the hands on the belly instead if it's not comfortable for you. And with each exhale, just allow your body to soften into the ground. And just letting go of the practice now. Bring all your attention within your own skin. And just focus on allowing and observing. Allowing the body to breathe on its own, breathe naturally, however that is. And just observing the body breathing. If you can feel them, observing the sensations in the body. Trying not to look at any as better or worse or good or bad. Just observing them as they are. And you can stay here if you want to. Otherwise, we'll just begin taking a few deeper breaths. And feel the whole body from the head to the feet, and then from the feet to the head. As you're ready, you could slowly move the hands and feet. And if you want, you can reach the hands overhead, take a full body stretch. And then pull the knees in towards the chest. And then you can roll to the side. Just take a breath or two here. And then we're going to press up to a comfortable seated position. And you can bring the hands to the heart. And we'll take 3 nice deep breaths together. And thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.